Hey guys, welcome back to Bear Mountain Builds, and today we're going to be making some super strong and really easy to build storage shelves. All right, so our shelves are going to be going right here. They're going to be about 9 feet tall, 6 feet wide, but this design is super easy to scale down to a smaller garage. Now the first thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be cutting out our main supports and putting them on the wall. All right, so before we get our supports mounted to our wall, big thing to note is you want these to land on a stud. Now, I'm in an outbuilding, so all of my studs are running horizontally and they're spaced 2 feet on center. So I can put this board wherever I want and I will find studs. Now, for your residential garages, you're gonna have vertical studs that are gonna be spaced 16 inches on center. So you wanna make sure that this lands on a stud, and then you want your overall width of your shelf to be divisible by 16. That way, your first support is on a stud, and your last support will also be on a stud. That way, it's fully secured to the wall, and you don't have to ever risk this thing tipping over. Now, with that said, I'm gonna put this board up here, mark my locations for my studs, pre-drill those holes, and then get these mounted up. I like starting the screws in the board. That way I have one less thing to hold in place while I'm leveling and mounting the support. I'm making sure the support is touching the ground and using a level to ensure it's straight up and down. After the first support is mounted, I'm using a spacer to set the distance to the next support and ensure both are parallel. All right, we've got both of our supports mounted on the walls. They are rock solid. So now we're gonna move on and cut up the rest of our 2x4s and put together our platforms. All the dimensions for this build are in my plans, linked down below in the description. All right, we got all our 2x4 pieces cut. We have our vertical spacers. These are gonna set our spacing between each of our platforms. We've got our platform cross pieces, and then we got our platform stretchers. Now, we need to take our platform cross pieces, add some pocket holes to these, and then we can get our platforms put together. I'm using two 2x4 offcut to spacers to set the position of the outside cross pieces. I like uniform placement of screws, but rather than measure every single time, I build a mini drill guide to help things go faster. I don't like seeing screw heads if I can help it, so I'm screwing these platforms in from the inside. That way I'll have a clean front face. Just like before, I'm pre-drilling and screwing the platform spacers for easier mounting. I'm mounting the bottom spacer to each of the freestanding supports. I'm making sure that the spacer is flush with the bottom of the support in order to get proper load transfer. All right, so we got our platform frames all ready to go. They are pre-drilled. We've got our main supports ready to go with our spacers mounted on them already. And we have all of our spacers cut out and pre-drilled as well. Now it's time to put these shelves together. We're gonna be kicking this thing off with mounting our spacers to our main supports that are already mounted to our wall. Now, what's great about this design and why it can hold so much load is that it's all lap joints. Now how that works is our spacer is going to be sitting directly on the ground and the hardware is going to be holding it to this main support, and then our platform is going to sit directly on top of that spacer. That way that entire load that's on that platform is going to transfer through its frame and through this 2x4 spacer and directly into the ground. That way we don't have to rely on the strength of the hardware. All the hardware does is just hold it to the support. Then we're going to just continue that on with our next spacer is going to sit directly on top of our platform with a platform on top of that. That way the entire load of the shelf is going to transfer through this wood and directly into the floor. The first platform can get a little squirrely, but a couple clamps will lock it down. I'm sitting on the frame while mounting it to make sure that it has full contact with the spacers. The freestanding supports don't need to be perfectly perpendicular to the floor at this point. As more platforms are added, they will naturally be pulled into square. From here on out, it's super fast and simple, just alternating between mounting another layer of spacers or platform. I could grab a ladder at this point, but I don't need to because it holds my 215 pounds no problem. All right, our shelving is put together. It was actually a lot more fun than I anticipated. It reminded me of my jungle gym days, but I'm sweaty, and now it's time to move on and cut out our OSB for the top of these platforms, and then we'll be done. I made another drill guide to mount the OSB sheets. I'm putting 4 screws in on the front and back, along with 1 on each end. With that, this shelf is done and can hold 405 gallons of storage. All right, the shelves are done. They turned out great. They are super strong. They hold an absolute ton of storage, and this goes together super fast. Really, once everything's cut out, it goes together like Legos. Now, I have plans for these linked down below in the description, but they are super easy to modify to fit a smaller scale garage. As always, hit the subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all my future videos. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button for me. It helps me out a ton, and I really do appreciate it. And finally, leave a comment. I love reading all you guys' comments. They mean a ton to me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.